Hello, everyone, and welcome to a review. I know, a gaming review? Crazy. I'm back. This channel has not been uploaded recently. I'm sorry. We're kind of in a low period for the channel at the moment as I kind of wait for circumstances out of my control to allow me to record more games for you guys. And I know the Final Fantasy review is not up. I'm sorry. I am really sorry. I need to get around to doing it. But while this channel may not be as active as it was, I am still playing video games, and I had just finished playing a old school video game. I guess now it's considered old school because that's how time works. Oh my god. I played Sonic Rivals. I have never played a Rivals game before, and I thought this was a great chance to play it. So, Sonic Rivals. Sonic Rivals is a racing game. It's a 2.5D racing game that was created and released in 2006. So this was also meant to celebrate Sonic's 15th anniversary. What a year, man. We just had Sonic 06 and then this comes out, man. Oh, baby. So the whole gameplay of the game is it's a 2.5D racing game, and you are always racing against someone else, except for the final level where you're racing. You are still racing. You're racing against time. There's no other opponent you need to fight. It's just you need to get there before the clock, gets out. So, what is the plot of this game? It's a Sonic game, so there's gonna be a plot. Well, much like previous Sonic games, this one has multiple plots that all coincide and coincide together. So, when you first are introduced into the game, I played Sonic Story first. You find out that Eggman now has this special camera which he uses, and he can use the camera to put someone in a card. And Eggman's plan is he's eventually going to take a picture of the whole world and put it in a card, wah ha 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 ha, type of thing, right? So then as Sonic, you try and get to stop Eggman, and during that, you encounter Knuckles, Shadow, and the first canonical appearance as Silver the Hedgehog. Because post 06, of course, we are now post 06, so Sonic 06 has been rewritten out of canon, and so this is Silver's first appearance in the actual canon. That is crazy. And then you guys will get to fight Metal Sonic, who is like a special character in the game. So that's Sonic's story. He tries to go and stop Eggman. Knuckles is what else? The Master Emerald disappears, and he's got to go find it. That is Knuckles' story. Shadows is a lot more interesting. This is when the plot of the story starts to get a bit more intriguing, which is Shadow is told by Eggman to meet him, but then when he meets Eggman, Eggman's like, I don't know what you're talking about, man. And then it's revealed during Shadow's story that the villain that we are seeing is not actually Dr. Eggman. It is actually Dr. Eggman Nega from Sonic Rush. This is also the weird point now where Eggman Nega's identity got very weird, because instead of being the alternate version of Dr. Eggman from the Soul Dimension, he was now made to be a descendant of Dr. Eggman. It's weird. So his official canonical identity now is he is an Eggman descendant, right? He is a descendant of Dr. Eggman in the future. But he introduced himself first as Eggman's counterpart from the Soul Dimension. So he lied about being from the Soul Dimension. He's actually from the future. And he lied about that. So that doesn't explain to me why Blaze knows him first, right? Like Blaze knows him. So maybe he went to the Soul Dimension first, caused havoc, and then came here? I guess. Right? I suppose that's what we're doing, right? But I think that's cool, having like Eggman. There is an Eggman descendant down the line. So either Eggman finally gets hitched one day, has some little egg babies, and Eggman Nigga's the result, or maybe Maria's sister is the reason down the line that we have an Eggman Nigga. Look at that. So yeah, he's revealed. Oh my god. And then the Silver story is, of course, Silver traveling back in time to stop, Eggman Nega from doing what he's doing. So that is the plot. So the character, so that's the plot. Overall, it's a fine idea, right? Like take a picture, and then the picture the people go on a card, and then, oh my god, you have to save them type of thing, right? So it's a nice idea. The introduction of Eggman Nega here was, I think, very convoluted. Didn't need to be here. He could have easily just been the Eggman of the Soul Dimension. You didn't need to overcomplicate those things. We could have just had it be Eggman's got a new plot type of thing, right? Very easily could have done that. The dialogue is not the best either. It's very rudimentary and very just basic. So it's not the best written game, but it's got a good idea, I think, is what I can give it credit for. So the characters you play as in the game is Sonic, Knuckles, Shadow, Silver, and then Metal Sonic is a surprise unlockable character that you can get. I believe to get Metal Sonic, what you have to do is beat everyone's story to get Metal Sonic. Is what you have to do. So let's talk about the zones. There is the Forest Falls zone, which is the first level you play as in the Sonic story. Again, like Sonic 06, you go to every zone, but in a different order is what you do. So Forest Falls is your green hill, right? It's the green hill of it, and it is it's the easy one to introduce you. Coliseum Highway is like your sand desert level, right? Sky Park Zone is a carnival level. Crystal Mountain is your ice level, and Death Yard is your fire level. And then there's Meteor Base, which is your Industrial Eggman base level. Overall, I don't think I hate any of these levels too much. Maybe Sky Park. I think Sky Park is the one I can say I probably don't like the most out of all of these, just because of the obstacles. That's probably what I would say is the worst one, but none of them are too bad. Of course, all these zones have, for the courses, they have not only you're just racing against, your opponent. There's obviously obstacles you need to do, enemies you need to avoid. There's the, you need to make sure you hit this bounce pad at the right time, type of thing. And they have like the boost rings, but instead of just boosting through them like normal, you have to click either X or circle, and that changes the direction you go. If you hit X, you go up. If you hit circle, you go forward. And sometimes it'll tell you, like, hit circle, hit X, but sometimes it'll give you a question mark, and the question mark is like, you decide where you want to go type of deal, right? I thought that's a cool idea. There's, of course, the spring pads, the bounce pads, all of that's there. You have boost things that, when you go through, they boost you, which is very needed because the characters are very slow. Getting into gameplay, the characters are very slow. They operate very slow. You get at the start of every race, you can like do a spin dash to start, and that gives you a bit of a boost at the beginning. But after that, the characters run super slow. So it's like, yeah, this game, for a racing game, that's not good. Yeah, but this game runs very, like, it doesn't run bad. It's the characters are slow, which is a problem. When it comes to races, I think the character I hated racing the most was Metal Sonic. That dude cheats so much, dude. Every time I face Metal Sonic, he cheats so much. It's not even fair. And how does he cheat? Well, there are power-ups that you can get throughout the race, and it does stuff like, gives you a heat shield, or it's like you drop an ice block, you drop a wind trap, you electrocute your opponent, stuff like that to help you. Then there's the special attack. Every character has their own, like, special. Sonic's, for example, is he boosts forward, right? He moves super quick. That's his special. Metal Sonic's is he uses his jetpack and just starts flying. And that's cheating because I'll have a distant lead on Metal Sonic, and then all of a sudden he just, boom, he's here. Hate that. Hate that so much. Bosses. There are bosses in the game. The game operates usually where it is a two zones, so two races, and then a boss battle. And in the boss battle, you are still competing against someone, and you have to beat the boss before they do. That's an interesting idea, and definitely in like a multiplayer thing, if you're playing online or wireless with someone else, that's a fun little thing because now you're competing to beat the boss first. That's cool. I always beat the boss on the first try, so that never was a problem, but I was like, there were times where I'm like, oh my god, I'm gonna lose, oh my god, I'm gonna lose. So it is a bit of a challenge, definitely, when having to do the bosses. The only zone that doesn't have a boss is Sky Park, but every other one has a boss. I guess the hardest boss is the Egg Destroyer in Meteor Base Zone, which is the end of the game. That one, it's done in stages, and again, you're against the time, right? The Metal Sonic is there to kind of hinder you, but he's really nothing. He doesn't really do much. And you're just against the clock for that one. That one I'd say is the hardest, but it should be the hardest because it's the final boss, and even then, I still beat it first try. So it's not super hard. It did get annoying though, which is what I guess a final boss should be. Overall, now we're gonna go into the overall for Sonic Rivals. Oh, soundtrack. Soundtrack's okay. You know, nothing really stood out. There's no track on this one where I'm like, oh my god, that's a Sonic Rivals, awesomeness. Let's go, baby. No. No. No song from this track stands out. Not at all. Maybe some of the racing ones, I could maybe be like, yeah, it's pretty fine, but nothing where I'm like, I gotta go and find that soundtrack right away. Nothing like that on this game, which is a shame. I should say though that Sonic Rivals was re-released on from still on the PlayStation Portable. There was a bundle, a compilation with Sonic Rivals 2, where you could get both games for one, and released in 2011 in the US only, which is a shame. Now, how did I play Sonic Rivals? I played it on my PlayStation Vita. Yes, I did not play this on an emulator. I played this as legit as I could. I found a copy of Sonic Rivals Online to buy for the PSP, but my PSP is almost shot to hell, and that thing is barely working now, sadly. So I'm like, okay, well, that kind of sucks. I might still buy the copy of Sonic Rivals anyway on PSP just to have it in my hand. But I wanted to play Rivals, and lo and behold, the PlayStation Vita store is still open, which is a great thing that Sony does. We give them crap for a lot of stuff, rightfully so, but one thing that they do great is their online stores stay open. The PS Vita store is open, PS3 store is open, the PS4 store is still open. So props to you for that, Sony. You keep your old stores open. You get a thumbs up from me for that. So I went on the PlayStation Vita store, and there was Sonic Rivals, because you can buy PSP games on there. And there was Sonic Rivals. It was for $7, I think, and I bought it. And I bought it a while ago, too. I want to say I bought it in, early January, and I just never touched it. And then now, after I finished Final Fantasy, I was like, you know what? I want to play Sonic Rivals. Let's do it. I'm always wanting to have some sort of Sonic content to digest at all times. And Sonic Rivals I thought was a good thing for me to digest, and play it for the first time. So, Sonic Rivals. Overall, I had fun. I didn't hate the game. I thought it was pretty good. It's not amazing, right? It's not the best racing game to ever exist in history. But for what it was, I had a good time. I got annoyed at times. I failed a lot of times, and it took a while. Pretty much every track, I want to say, there was at least one race. Every race took me at the minimum 3 tries to do. Right? Because you have to learn the track, and you learn the obstacles, and then once you get it, it's like, okay, I know, and for this one I need to go this way and this way and this way, right? And then there's a couple of BS stuff, like I said, where characters are way behind you, and suddenly the game just gives them all the best items so they can catch up to you. You see that all the time too. There is no difficulty option. There's just the game. The game is just the game. You get good at the game or you suck at the game, right? That's how it is. Thankfully, I think I got good at the game as it went on. Start to learn the mechanics and all that type of stuff, and I think I got better as time went on. There is rankings, of course, like normal Sonic games, S rank, A rank, B rank, for how well you do in the game. I never got lower than a B. I only got B ranks in the final section of the game, where again you're up against time, and I thankfully, for the final section of the game, I beat every stage first try, but I was very close to failing, right? Time was not on my side for those ones. But yeah, that is Sonic Rivals. I think it's a fine game. I don't think Sonic Rivals deserves a lot of the hate it gets. It's not the best game ever, obviously not, but I don't hate the game. I had fun playing it. I really did. I got annoyed at times when playing it, yeah, of course, but you do that with pretty much every game. You get annoyed at it at times, but I didn't want to hate the game. This game sucks, it's unfair. And sort of like a Sonic 4, which is just bad level design, poorly done game, and it sucks. This isn't Sonic Rivals. Sonic Rivals is, you just have to get good at it, right? You just keep trying, and it's a challenge, but you can overcome the challenge, right? There's a difference in level to that, where Sonic Rivals has a difficulty, it's you just have to try, and you can beat it. Or we get something like Sonic 4, which is just poorly made and is a crappy game. So that's Sonic Rivals. I'm going to give Sonic Rivals, and I've got to say, I've really enjoyed playing this. I've been playing it over the course of, I want to say, about a week now. And I've been enjoying it. I really have. Yeah, even though, again, not as good writing, really not good writing. But again, the gameplay is good. The basic premise of the story is good. Silver's first canonical appearance, all that type of stuff. So yeah, there is costumes, by the way, that you can get in the game for each character. In order to get the costumes, you have to collect cards, and you get a card. And each card features, like, role badniks, characters like Amy, Tails, and all that type of stuff. And you get cards from completing like challenges, in a way, right? You get a card each time you beat a story level, right? You get one card for doing that. Then after that, you have to do challenges, which is stuff like, hit your rival a certain number of times, right, during a race, or make sure you get to the goal in a certain amount of time, right? Like stuff like that, right? Make sure you get to the goal when you have a certain amount of rings, right? Like stuff like that, basic challenges. They unlock cards, and through those cards, you get outfits. Each character has 3 outfits, and I have unlocked none of them. I have unlocked zilch out of all of them. But whatever, I don't really need outfits. It's just a cool thing that there is outfits there in the game as well. So there we go. That is Sonic Rivals. Overall, I will say I give it a 7. It's just a solid racing game, right? A 7 out of 10. That is what I would give Sonic Rivals. So that's going to do it for me. If you've played Sonic Rivals, what do you think about the game? Let me know in the comments down below. If you haven't played Sonic Rivals and you want to, I say give it a shot at the very least. Yeah, give it a shot. So that's going to be it for me. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you guys all next time.